Alright guys, here we are at the end. The end of all things. Well, the end of all things Zi-O. So the final part of the Figure Standard Kamen Rider Zi-O. Finally said it right. And we're going to do some comparisons and then final thoughts. So right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and compare him to the last Kamen Rider that I built. And, well, that's Kamen Rider Build. So this is the year before. So that's why his ride watch, he gained like basically the previous ride watch, kind of, I think it's first actually. So he gains his build powers, goes back and fights an evil version or demonic version of build, and all the other things, interacts with the rider. And it's pretty fun. It's a really cool anniversary series by all means. But I want to compare the different things. One, stands are identical. And one thing that's neat is he does have these little tabbies that come with them so that you can interlock the bases, which is always fun. I'm going to go ahead and pull him off of here. Get him straightened out. I left him in the pose from the articulation video because continuity is fun, and of course you guys should realize I'm shooting these things in order back to back to back. So that's that. Now you can see here, this guy uses a round peg that plugs into the middle of his spine, whereas Zi-O has a square peg right above his booty. So weapon wise, you got this one here. Of course you get different hands and stuff for build. I'm just getting the weapon out of the way to make my life easier. And we'll do the quick comparison here. Obviously, a Kamen Rider looks like a Kamen Rider, generally has the kind of bug style eyes and at least some kind of V-fin looking horn of some sort. These guys just happen to be like this. Now, I'll tell you in hand, this guy feels very different. The plastics feel different. He's lighter, feels less dense, and that's kind of because he is. This guy uses a lot more solid plastic. This guy uses a lot more polycaps. That's one of the biggest differences. So this guy, the necks are fairly similar, but this one is way looser. The engineering in the chest is similar, but this one is built more like a bit more like an HG Gundam. And you can see there's a little bit more of a cavity in here in the way that's connected versus this. And you can see the polycap, there's a freaking bug flying around, is a little bit different. Also, this guy has prodigious use of stickers. It's just in the design. As for flexibility, he can really only go backwards with his chest. Can't really look forward too much. He just pivot down at the hip, whereas this guy is a bit more articulate. But what I really wanted to point out was the differences in the joints. So that right there is how it goes together. This is polycap material, and there's just square holes in the top and the bottom, and that's how you assemble the joints. And you can see right there, it's a little wonky. Now, it gives you a nice double jointed elbow for sure and looks okay, but it's a very weak kind of connection. And all of the joints in this guy are like that. The knee joints are just like that, and the elbows, and he's got polycap hips instead of solid plastic hips. So that's a big thing. So this guy is a lot more indicative of older designs, older engineering, which when we get to the next one, you'll see more of that. And the same thing, like this guy is just more modern, more solid, nothing feels loose on him, and he's barely a few months newer than this kit. But like I said, this one feels heavier. Like, there's no good way for me to weigh these things. I know somebody was asking about the weight of a kit at some point. I don't have a digital scale to check those things, but for the most part, that's that. Of course, you know, comparing two Kamen Riders is like comparing two different generations of Power Rangers. You know, literally, just what do you do? But for other comparisons, here he is next to an HG Gundam, of course, or not Gundam, but a Gunpla, and of course, this is one of the P Bandai Hugo twin set. So you can just see size difference. He's a little bit taller than that, so this is about a normal 1/144 scale. You know, so these guys don't really have a scale. This is just why it's called Figure Standard. They're setting a new standard for that. And for another comparison, here he is next to a new 6-inch Marvel Legend. So very close to a 6-inch 1/12 scale. So these guys are pretty much 1/12 scale if we're going there. because you can even see, let me bring up build here. I gotta make sure he'll stand. So, I mean, build just a hair shorter than Zi-O, and Captain America is roughly 6 foot tall. I'm gonna guess that guy not so much, but there you go. That's just a good indicator of scale and things similar size. Now, a master grade Gundam is going to be a bit taller. I don't have any handy, if I'm honest, but I do have a frame arms kit. It's 1:100 scale, so you can see it's a little bit different. Obviously, it's not going to be remotely the same. I'm going to get build out of here. As for final thoughts, I dig it. I like the series of Zi-O. I was really looking forward to this kit. The only thing that really annoys me, honestly, is the hands. I talked about it in the details and stuff like that. When you don't do painting, they're very bland. They're just solid black, except for the sticker on the back of the hand. They don't even give you like the ability to have a wraparound sticker cover that whole pad on the back of the hand. You can see there, I did it with just some leftover sticker, or just as far as I could get. If you have a pink that works, like I don't know 100% what colors they reference when they do this, whenever they give you the color guide, but it says 100% pink. That's just all it says. Now, I picked up a straight-up Mr. Color pink, which looks more like a pinkish flesh tone, not like this. And this is supposed to be a fluorescent pink. When it was wet, definitely looked a lot closer to that. I really wish they could have just given you like a whole sticker set just to do the hands. I would have been actually very fine with that, just applying a whole bunch of small stickers. When they look good, I don't care about stickers. I know a lot of people are very iffy about it, but I mean, from a distance, you're not going to know these are all stickers. It just looks good. I mean, there's a couple little wrinkles, but compared to this guy who uses stickers for entire body panels, like right here, you know, I mean, at a distance, you know, it's a little harder to tell, but if I point it out, you won't not see it. So like that, the red, all that stuff like that between this guy and this guy. You know, the stickers aren't that egregious. If you're going to paint the details, I definitely suggest it, especially around the driver, which just looks white. Otherwise, you know, it needs at least a little bit of silver, a little bit of black. The drivers, or not drivers, the ride watches are all the same except for the stickers, so they need a little bit. Ride watch holders and the belts and stuff, those are all fine. Those details don't really need to be picked out as much. The nubs for any of the... oops, I just did something to the ankle there. The nubs for any of the silver are not easy to clean up. That's when you really find out that it is plastic. There's a couple nubs that are still visible even after assembly. Like I said, if you use some Tamiya silver leaf, it will give you a decent cover-up. But, I mean, other than that stuff, very good kit. A very cool Kamen Rider, just in general. And my other critique is, of course, that he doesn't really hold the weapon the way he should. I mean, even if you open up the hand, it's grooved just big enough for it to fit. But I would have much rather it been like a very secure and snug fit. So, I mean, if you line it up specifically in that spot, it's exactly the width that it needs to be, but it can't hold it tight because there's extra room around that thumb. So, I mean, while that is okay, I would suggest gluing it if you're going to leave it on display with the sword in his hand. But see, like this one fits 100% to the hand, and then it won't fall out either because it's got that base. So I mean, even when it moves, it doesn't go away. This is a pretty neat weapon though. This one, not so much. I think it's just a kind of a shortfalling of the design idea. The coolness of the switching the blade out to get the other weapon, that's neat. I really wish it had come with an extra ride watch or something just to put in there. That would have just been fun. Add to the gimmick. But other than that, I digs it. So, guys, I hope you like this little quick series here with the Kamen Rider Zi-O. And let me know what you think down below. And I do have at least one more at the moment to go over, and I will have more Kamen Rider kits in the future. I do actually like these, and the Figure Eye Standard line in general is actually very neat. If you're into Gunpla but you want more anime stuff, like when I did the the Naruto. They have all of the like Dragon Ball characters that are just coming out right and left. I believe I just saw that they have Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta coming out sometime soon. But of course, go ahead and hit that big ol' thumbs up button down there. Hit the subscribe-ish thingy, notification bell, so you guys know what I'm doing in the future, because I don't trust YouTube to let you guys know. And of course, Patreon and merch store to help support the channel. Please, by all means, I need the help. Just trying to do what I can do. But I will catch you guys on the next review. So yeah. Keep on building, guys.